You're listening to Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technologically advanced silhouette decoy on the market. First Light, the best hunting gear on the planet. Go farther, stay longer. And Ducklander Calls, tradition, education, and quality. Built to hunt.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Union 0430 podcast, episode 189. And it's been a minute, man, since we've had Eric Massey on, and coming to us all the way from the great state of Kansas. We've got Eric Massey from Tangle Free on with us tonight. So Eric, buddy, great to have you back on. It really is. We'll get more into it after introduce Phil coming to us from Port Perry, Craig coming to us from Wabashine. I'm just outside Kingston, Ontario. Please go check out our sponsors, Real Geese Decoys, Ducklander Calls, and First Light Hunting, which, oh yeah, I get to pick your brain on First Light this time around, Eric, because you've been getting into it now, right? So we have, yeah. So with our sponsors, everybody, please go check them out, send them some love, subscribe, all that stuff, and let them know that you heard about them through us, which if you haven't heard about those three brands and you heard about it through us, you've got bigger problems.
You live under a rock.
You live on, but yeah, man. So listen, we're going to be all over the place, Eric, but so what's your thoughts? Because you really got into the First Light stuff once, you know, Tangle Free started working with them and stuff like that. So what's your first thoughts?
So we, when they first kind of came to, Corey, we actually kind of made some connection through Heartland Waterfowl as well.
Mm-hmm.
Heartland kind of went, did some, co-branding stuff with them and that kind of thing. What I liked about them was, kind of the same thing I liked about Sitka really early on.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a smaller group.
Yeah.
And it was some guys who had just, they were all on the same page. You didn't have sort of everybody going different directions.
Yep.
Real common goal. And they've kind of stayed there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even though they've gotten bigger, they still feel that way. They still kind of feel a little bit smaller. So I did wear First Light all year.
Yeah.
Now, I had to wear Sitka over top of it on a lot of occasions and stuff.
Yep.
So for me, it was, I've never had a great base layer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just a sweaty, small guy. And so some of the other stuff. So for me, the merino was the best thing that I've worn so far.
Yep.
So that was awesome. I got some pants to test. I got a bunch of solids, that I could wear, things like that. I liked it. I liked it all. Loved some of the pieces, like some of the gloves and some of the things that I tested as well. Didn't get into the waders or anything like that. At least this year we didn't.
Yeah.
But just really like the communication. Small. They seem to be pretty focused.
Yeah.
They have some big game guys. They have some waterfowl guys. And those guys come from backgrounds that seem to be very in line with how we do things with Tangle Free. So it's been great. It's been great.
No, absolutely, buddy. And that seems to be the common theme that I keep hearing with regards to your outer cold weather layers is that people are still going to Sitka for that outer layer, but when it comes to the base layers and the mid layers, First Light is lights out, right?
I never could find Sitka had sort of that it was almost like an indented, like a real heavyweight, and it made me scratch, and I just couldn't. I could never get temperature control very well.
Mm-hmm.
And this all these base layer stuff has been awesome. Well, obviously we have an obligation to Sitka on the on the R&T show.
Yeah.
So we have to wear that. But
Absolutely.
but underneath was all First Light this year. And
Cool.
I gave them a ton of feedback on all kinds of stuff. I got a pair of bottoms that looked pretty funny when I got them. They looked like stockings. They came to like your ankle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They had like a zipper all the way up the side. And I was like, ooh, shit, I wonder if they sent me the wrong thing. Like, this is weird. And then, but all year, I absolutely loved them. Alpaca socks, that stuff.
Yeah.
And hunted pretty much all year from September to February in it. So it was awesome. Yeah.
I still remember that video from way back in the day when you and the boys were on that little river bend there, and you just like fucking bam, 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 bam. And it was just, and it was a cold day, and you were just wearing a pair of overalls and a hoodie that day.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
I'm still kind of a hoodie guy. Always kind of have been. I can breathe and everything in cotton. I don't know. I get you. Yeah.
Okay, buddy. It's time because I've been waiting. I've been waiting to hear this story. So and you hyped it up. The worst start to a waterfowl season, but the best story.
Listen, here's what I'll do. I will test anybody that comes on Punisher Waterfowl. If they have a worst start to a season, we'll run a contest of some kind, like a giveaway, if anybody has a worst start.
All right.
So September 23, 24, right, is a national holiday with the Goose Crew. It is the opener in Manitoba. You don't have birth anniversaries. You don't get married. In fact, you don't even die. You can't even have deaths in the family. That's just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And we prepare. We wait all summer. Sean does a ton of work, obviously, but I do a lot of work with new products and stuff. We get them all ready. We're going to take a bunch of stuff up there, and we kill a bunch of content up there, right? Like a lot of the videos and stuff. We'll just knock out in that 10 to 14 day time frame and get it all done for Corey. So you want to be in shape. You want to be like in a good mood. You want to prep, and all this stuff. So September 20, the clock's about 50 hours at that point. It's 72 hours. 72 hours was the start. I was having just a little bit of like back pain. Okay. Tensed up, pressure, whatever it was, not sleeping great. I like a kid, excited.
Yeah.
And so my son who played baseball, he would always come home, and I'll preface this, by the way, but I have nothing against doctors, chiropractors, anything like that. So he comes home and he always goes to the chiropractor and he loves it. My wife has gone to this chiropractor. I myself, I'm just a stubborn old man, and I just have never been.
Yeah.
So my wife, God bless her heart, she says you should go and get adjusted, right? Before you go to Canada, get in a car for 24 hours.
Yeah.
You should do this. And I'm like, it's worth it. It's because when we get up there, there is a lot of play, but it's a lot of work. And
it's go time.
I wanted to be, I wanted to be dialed in. And so I go to this chiropractor. Now I walk in, and right away it's cool. He's got a picture of a big deer like on the wall. And I had a First Light t-shirt on, and he's like, oh, big deer hunter. And I was like, no, not actually, no, waterfowl and this and that. So we got along right away. Asks me what's going on. I tell him it's sort of a pain behind the shoulder blade, kind of in the back. I was going to say pain, but I didn't know pain. Pain was actually coming, but I didn't know pain. It was discomfort. That's all it really was.
Oh.
So he sets me down. He does, does some reviews and things like that. This little, this little gun thing, and he's like digging in, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, this is good. Like this is, I like this. And does the back, right?
Yeah.
Gets a couple nice pops there, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, your toes are curling and everything.
Oh,
right now,
yeah.
right?
You're like the dog and the legs going.
It's so good. It's so good. I've never been.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, what an idiot. 49 years of life, and this is the first time I'm going. Like, what was I thinking? I should have been going all the time.
Yeah.
He goes up to the neck. Gets up to the neck. Wham! Lights out.
Uh-oh.
Complete lights out. What ended up happening, there were some underlying things that were going on, but he damaged both the rotary and the ulnar nerve. Completely smashed down. Lights out. 72 hours before I'm leaving. Right side of the body is limp.
Jesus.
Don't know what to do.
Oh.
He's panicked. I mean, I'm fucking beside myself.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't even know what to think. And emergency room. 72 hours. Now my clock's down to about 60 hours before I'm supposed to leave. And it's bad. It's bad. Straight up in one of those things, you see, like, you ever seen like the NFL football players get carried off like in one of those deals? And I'm fucked. I mean, it's a bad deal. So I go to the emergency room and I'm in the ER and I'm like, let's wait. I'm not going to call it yet. Let's wait, see what happens.
Of course.
Here.
Yeah, of course.
And then I get on drugs. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Now I'm doing Snapchats of myself to stall. I'm like, got the IV in the arms, and I'm like,
yeah.
It gets down to like 50 some hours before, and I'm like, I gotta call it. Yeah. It's over. It's over. Deep depression. It's not gonna happen for me.
Right.
So I send out the text, and I mean, of course, they're like, they feel terrible. Anything I can, is there anything I can do or whatever? And I'm like, no, I mean, it's just, it's going to be what it is. And I get out, and they do a bunch of tests. They set me up right away with like a neck and back doctor and things like that. And I go to the doctor. Wife has to take me. I can't really drive or anything like that the next day. So now it's over. We're 48 hours. We're done. Yeah. But I go to the doctor. Now I am a pill-free guy, right? I have never, I don't take anything to go to sleep. I never have, knock on wood. It just, been pretty healthy that way. So this was kind of one of the first times that I had been introduced to some of these drugs. And I mean, when I say drugs, it was like,
it was the good stuff, right?
It was the good stuff. And
you were tasting colors.
Yes. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, let's hold on. I get a text from a buddy of ours, Tyson Stark, lives up in Princeton, Missouri. He's about 2.5 hours straight north of me. So he would be on the way. Let's just say that, right? Yeah. He texts and says that his job, he's taken a new job. He's not left yet. And he says, if you wanted to get up here, you could still make it if you think you can. It's going to be a shot. We're going to go. It's going to be almost get out of the car, scout one afternoon and go. And I'm thinking, okay, like maybe there's light, we'll see. At this point, I'm not really still moving on the right side. I've not slept for 2-3 days, but I get these drugs, and I mean, this stuff is. I'm like, holy shit! I mean, this is awesome. Yeah. So my brain scheme idea is, if I handle this right, I think maybe I can pull this off. The other thing he says is, he can only go from Saturday to Wednesday. So I'm thinking, all right, that's super short, but you know what? Maybe I could do that. I have not said anything to my wife. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, so now I got to try to talk her into it. Yeah. So I talk to her, and as soon as I start talking, she knows. She's like, you stubborn son of a bitch. Like, you're an idiot.
You've already made up your mind. I'm not talking
you out of it.
Yeah.
You're going to try it. Yeah. And if I say no, you're still going to do it.
Yeah.
So she decides, or we decide, I can't drive. but she's going to drive me 2 hours north, interstate, get off interstate, get in Tyson Stark's car, and he's going to drive up. 6 prednisones, 4 hydrocodone, 2 oxycodone, and a muscle relaxer.
Oh, boy.
That's what I took that morning.
Yeah. You woke up in another country.
to get up
it's like The Hangover.
Yeah. I mean, she takes me up there. It's a McDonald's parking lot. Now, a great part of the story that I don't even remember. Tyson Stark is this big, huge. I mean, we call him the White Buffalo. He's got these dimples. When he laughs, everyone laughs. The room erupts. He's the best.
Yeah.
So he gets out of the car and he's dimples smiling. He's laughing. But my wife gets out of the car and she's like, Tyson, he is not in good shape. This is not a good idea. And Tyson's face just stark white, and he's like, "Oh shit!" She means business.
Mm-hmm.
They have to help me with just the couple bags that I have in the back seat. No gun, nothing. I mean, guys, this is just like I'm trying to still make it up there. I'm not even worried about hunting. It does, I'm trying to just make it up there. So I get in the car with him. I get this pillow on the side. The next thing I know, he is waking me up, asking me where my passport is. I'm like, oh, what? Like, holy shit. Like, what, I'm like, handing my passport. He's like, take your sunglasses off. I take my sunglasses off. We do the whole, and the guy at the border was, he's like, you guys going hunting, but our guns were with Stahl anyway. So
right.
We didn't have anything. We had no shells. We had no guns. Nothing.
Yeah.
Everything was going to be up there. So we cross the border. I'm starting to feel it again. 6 more prednisone, hydros, oxys. It's all I can do to function.
Yeah.
I get up there. Stahl is, he's a little upset. He's kind of like, you're a dumbass. Why are you trying this? And I'm like, hey, I'm doing this. I'm doing this thing. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So the first morning, I got it all planned out, right? I have got the drugs. I got it planned out. I think I can make it till Wednesday. But shit starts happening. Now I got ice packs on both shoulder blades and the neck. So I wake up in the morning. I can't sleep on the side. And I'm just sleeping like this. Wake up. I get up. We go hunting. And the first day, I don't shoot. I call. I do whatever that needs to be done. It's Canada, so not big spreads. I'm okay carrying a couple decoys at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting worse. Like, it's getting progressively shittier. I mean, it's like, and now I'm trying different dry cocktails at this point. I'm like, okay, well, that didn't work. Let's try this. Let's try double that one and this and that. I also have a couple nice big strong Crown and Cokes when I get up there.
Yeah,
that actually helped a little bit.
Like
not supposed to drink with drugs, kids. This is not. I hope kids aren't listening to this episode, by the way. But don't do drugs, kids.
That's the moral. That's the moral of this story.
That's the moral of this story.
Yeah.
So,
stay in school.
Yeah. So I think I have it planned out, but the whole plan starts going to shit after 2 days.
Yeah.
But then the cocktail starts kind of getting a little better. But what it is the prednisone's not working as well as the oxy. That shit starts working.
Yeah.
And then the muscle relaxer starts working to try to get some sleep.
Yeah.
But I'm all fucked up. Like we come back and I'm sleeping when we're supposed to be sleeping. I'm a complete mess at this point. So the second day, I'm trying this algorithm of drugs to do this thing. We get out there. This is awesome. We set up. I carry a few decoys out. I'm trying to act cool. I do it. I get in the blind and something happens. the muscle relaxer, whatever it is. I get on the stool and I go, man, I gotta lay down. And that's all they say that I say. I come off of the stool. We're in panel blinds. I get in a fetal position. I'm out. I'm done. I don't remember another thing. They're telling me, hey, it's time to pick up. I'm like, did we kill them all? Did you get mine? They're like, yeah, we're done. And I'm like, all right, this is fucking stupid. This is dumb. I got to make it one more day.
Yeah.
Well, what happens after one more day? I figure out a new drug system. Double this. Maybe some cocktails were involved.
Yeah.
And something else was involved now. I've now entered into a new realm. Never done it. Gummies.
Oh.
Weed gummies. Canada.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. You're in Canada now. It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We have a cameraman who I won't say his name, but he dabbles in it.
Yeah, right? Partakes. Yeah.
Partakes in it. Totally fine.
Yeah.
And so he introduces me to, to these glorious gummy bears.
Yeah.
They help me sleep that night.
Fuck yeah, they do.
The next day I get up, I get back on the cocktail. Tyson Stark's like, hey, I'm rolling out. I mean, are you leaving? And I'm like, you know what?
I think
I got this thing. Now I got this shit figured out. I'm good. I'm good now. He leaves. He leaves. I send a text to the wife. I got this. I'm good. Doesn't work. It did help me sleep.
Yeah.
But during the day, it's fucking tragic. I mean, It is. Come home. I got all these ice packs on my nerves. I'm trying to take a hot shower. I mean, nerves, guys, are just,
buddy.
They're just fucked, man.
Well, it's crippling, right?
Yeah, I've never had anything like that. I would rather have broken bones every day of the week than nerves. Yeah. And they're so weird, right? Because, I mean, it's your neck, but it's weird places under your arms hurting. Just weird shit is happening. Yeah. I don't have it licked, and I don't have a ride home, and I'm completely fucked. And now I go into the medicine cabinet, which is also known as a Yeti bag that I smuggled across the border. Basically, there was enough prednisone to probably get arrested, And what I don't know is that now the doctors, what do they tell me? I mean, don't travel, right? Don't drink. Don't do any of that stuff. Oh, and by the way, you need to be at this neck and spine specialist. I missed that appointment. Clearly, I skipped that. I don't do anything I'm supposed to do. And, I'm, so now Stahl's just basically calling me Dopehead. So for the rest of the next 3 days, it's Dopehead. Hey, Dopehead. Dopehead, we gotta go. Dopehead, get in the truck. Dopehead, it's time to eat. It's all so that carries on all season. It's all dope. Right? Okay. And it's tragic. So for the next 2 days, I try this and that. I try some stuff or whatever. It doesn't work. It's just an absolute painful 7 or 8 days. Oh, buddy. And the last day I miscalculate and I'm out. I don't have any prednisone left. Now, guys, this was 14 days worth, and I'm 6 days in, and I don't have a pill. I don't have an oxy. I don't have anything, and I got to drive 20 hours back in this guy's F-250 3/4 ton that feels like a fucking meat wagon. Every knock is just killing me, and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. Season's over. I'm wrapped up. I get home, go back to the doctor. Well, what do you think they say? I mean, they're not gonna give you anything. They're not gonna go, hey, dumbass, we're gonna give you 14 days of medicine. They're like, we can't do that. Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? Like, I'm in pain, people. Like, I can't move. I can't sleep. I can't do anything. And they're like, yeah, that's not how this works. That's not, you don't get to come here. This is not a pharmacy.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I'm screwed. What am I going to do? Like October, like 4 or 5, I go to physical therapy. I'm in physical therapy. So I get the physical therapy the first day. I can't do this. Cannot raise this. Can't go up in the air. Can't do anything. Aggressive physical therapy 3 days a week for the next almost 60 days. I don't hunt again until November 3rd. That's the start of my season. November 3rd, I go to Texas to hunt with Corey.
Yep.
In a hotel, and go in a hotel room, and I'm still sleeping with pillows on the side, kind of up. And I'm still a piece of shit. I mean, it's do what I can, hunt, come back and just sleep.
Wow.
I just rest, just sleep. I'm doing these dumb, physical therapy exercises in the hotel room. Corey's making fun of me. He's like, you're an idiot. I had to shut it down again. It wasn't going to work. Took about 2-3 more weeks. I got back into the swing of things like December. Went on a trip on December or whatever. I ramped up right around Christmas. Oklahoma a couple times.
Okay.
Did Texas again. And then we ended up back in Oklahoma at the end of, I think, like January or something. Get to January. I'm back to a probably 70%, right? Like
still
pretty
January.
Good. But I mean,
5 months. You're like what? 5 months in, and still only at 70%.
So Oklahoma gets this crazy once in a world ice storm, thick ice on the roads, crazy. And we're boat hunting. So Stoll wants to do an episode with this Goose Express. And I'm like, that's good. I'm like, all I got to do is get in a boat, right?
Right.
No lesser spreads, for 4 hours, any of that shit. I'm like, perfect. This is it. I can do this. Well, the roads are icy. I walk out to the truck.
Oh, shit.
I slip on the ice and dislocate my left shoulder.
Jeez.
Spare parts.
I mean, you can't make this up. This is now getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Physical therapy again. It goes back in. I'm fucked. It's a complete shit show. I'm done. I come home from that trip and I'm done.
Yeah.
Never snow goose hunt. Never really get a guide. I mean, I can't. I'm a piece of shit myself. How am I going to guide for anybody at that point?
Yeah.
Season's over, and that's it.
Oh, boy.
And there are episodes of just complete blacked outness. We come home from Canada, and Corey is like, "Hey, I sent you guys those dirt bags. We're doing a bunch of stuff, by the way, in solids.
Yeah.
Just because." Number one, guys really like solids, but number two,
I like solids.
Camo is just going through a big change as far as licensing and some different things. So we're doing a bunch of bags in solids, bunch of things in solids, and he had sent us a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
I forget, but I'm modeling stuff for it, taking pictures or whatever. Corey comes back and he's like, "Hey, did you guys get all where is all that stuff or whatever?" And I'm like, "Corey, you never sent it." Corey's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, I saw a cell phone picture. Stoll sent me a cell phone picture. You were standing in front of this bag. And I'm like, no, you're crazy. He's like, "Eric, like I saw it." And I'm like, there are multiple like episodes of that.
Wow.
And that's the story. No drugs, but it was bad. That's the most, when you go 49 years, and probably the hardest thing I've ever done was OD on Tylenol.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I'm just, listen, you can partake. I'm not a weed guy. I never have been.
Yeah.
That's not kind of how I grew up or whatever.
Yeah.
For 8 days to intake that many drugs, I'm telling you, I was not the same person.
No, your body is.
I have family members. I have people that tell me like you weren't even around.
Really,
you were physically there, but mentally you were not even close. And you don't know it because you're just, you're on to the next one.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. I have sympathy for people that have been hooked on oxy, on drugs. I do. I really can see how somebody can go down chronic pain, that kind of thing, because you can click it and it's amazing. So
buddy.
I do. It was. It's kind of a funny story, but I mean, there's some weird shit in there.
And there's some lessons learned too, right? Like for you, like to be such and I'll say anti-pill, not that you're against pills, but you just didn't take pills. But to be not taking pills, to just trying gummies, to an injury. Like that's a whole different shock system to the body, right? Like just the injury alone is a shock to the body, and now you're pumping all of these chemicals in. I bet you it was a fucking good ride, though, Eric.
It is. There's some funny shit. Guys were telling me we had a fire going in Manitoba. We got outside the house. There's this big. The Hutterite colony has made us this big fire pit. Yeah. And apparently I was picking up sticks to like throw in this fire thing. But I was picking up like one, like a 5-inch stick 20 feet away, coming back, placing that stick in the fire, going back, getting another stick, and people are just recording me like, what is this asshole doing? What is this idiot doing?
Now that you're here and you're talking about it and we're laughing about it and all this stuff and listen, it is humorous. And I don't want to turn this into, because the show is really not a serious show and I don't want to turn it into that, but it is, for Phil, you must see it on your side a lot. Craig, even I know just your personal stuff. Like that's a slippery slope to go down, right? Like once you start taking those pills and those drugs, like if you're using it for comfort, I think not that I'm condoning anything. I'm not condoning anything, but if you're taking it for a good time, that's like because you want to have a good time, that's different. But if you're taking it for comfort and that's the only thing that's giving you comfort, boy, that's a slippery slope to go down.
I have legit dealt with a handful of people for so long where it's like, over the span of like 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you see like the drastic spiral.
Really?
And obviously, like I can go into the computer and see previous mug shots and stuff. And like, you look at like, this is when I first met you. And here's today.
Crazy,
not even the same person.
Well, it's like you're saying, it's a humorous story. We're all sitting around laughing, and because you presented it really well. But it doesn't take much, right? Like
no, it doesn't.
Especially coming to chronic pain, like it doesn't, unless you've had to deal with that. Like you just don't know how much that can take out of you, right? And those pills are designed to do that. And when you can get that comfort that easily, and it's the only thing, because I've been on pain medication before where it's it's like you're hurting that much with the medication, so it's like you're afraid to go off of it,
right?
And it doesn't take much before it goes real bad real fast.
Oh yeah.
And looking back, I mean, there's just so many wrong things. Number one, I would not, again, this chiropractor has treated my son, my wife, I don't, people there were underlying conditions. What some of those conditions were was I had some like early kind of osteoarthritis going, like some softness.
Right.
When I was a kid, I was on growth hormone deficiency. I had some bone deficiency.
Right.
I should have never been in that chair. I should have never, ever. Go to a doctor. Don't be a stubborn asshole, man, like we are.
Yeah.
Go to a doctor and find out the root cause of what's going on. That is what I should have done. I mean, clearly. And then, Craig, you're right. Like, I mean, from not ever being on it, I mean, to go from that and in 48 hours sitting there thinking, I think I can handle this.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's getting better in my mind. I thought, like, this is getting better. I think this is going to be okay, and to go. And it's just complete idiot. Just an absolute, honestly, the dumbest thing I've ever done hunting wise. It just, I'd like to
be able to, if you could turn this in. So let's look at the positives of this, Eric. So first,
I'm alive.
Well, you're alive, but you were alive and you were with buddies, right?
I was, yeah.
So you're lucky there. So you think about all the people that are traveling coast to coast, north and south, all over the fucking place. And sometimes, you know what? You know it as well as I do, Eric. There's dudes that's just doing those trips by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And pushing their limits and listen, I can't judge you because God knows I'd probably do the same friggin' thing that you done. But just pushing the limits and stuff and we're not getting any younger. And that's the thing, right? Like I'm starting to, there's little things that I used to make fun of my dad about all the time that I'm doing it. My kids make fun of me now when I bend over to pick something up off the floor because apparently it's called the old man grunt. You know what I mean? So it is, man. It's scary now that you can look back at it and it's good that you see the lessons and be like, oh, fuck. I'm never doing that again.
And I will tell you, credit to healthcare professionals and everything. I mean, I really thought, well, I'm just going to go back home and I'm just going to get back on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to, I was at a point where I have to get back on it. It's the only way that, is pain-free. Yeah. And, as many problems as North America healthcare has, and you guys know this, they did the right thing. And they were like, there is no way you are getting another script. Like, it's not happening. You need to go see this person next 3 days. Yeah. And I did. And that led to an amazing physical therapy. I honestly am going to call out this physical therapy someday. They just did awesome. But it was aggressive as shit. I mean, it was 3 days.
Yeah, for 60
3
days
a week, and
for 60 days, dude. That's I've done physio before. Not like that. That's hardcore. Well, I'm glad that you're here to tell the story. And now, I wish the rest of the Goose Crew was here. I really do wish the rest of the Goose Crew was here because I'm sure there's some even funnier fucking stories to be.
Get a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
I was talking to Sean.
Dopehead all year. It was just Dopehead.
I was talking to Sean today. I was messaging Sean today, actually. So
tell him text him and tell him you had Dopehead on the show.
I'm gonna do it right now, actually.
Yeah. Say, hey, I got Dopehead on the show right now.
That's funny. I did want to,
but it is, it was stupid. It was stupid. It's really, there's humor in it, but by no means do I think this was, at the end of the day, it was not funny what occurred, what I did. And then you look back and you're like, 49 years old, just to go up there, one more time for a duck and a goose.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's stupid.
Panagummy.
Yeah, you have crossed the line to stupidity. And I have done some stupid shit for ducks and geese. I mean, completely stupid things.
Oh, we all have.
that topped it where I was like, it sunk in that like, all right, that's it. You're officially, you've officially topped the dumbest thing you've ever done. No doubt.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? And it's great and all this stuff, but you learned a lesson, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You learned something. It's not
Yeah.
because 20-year-old Eric
Ooh,
would not have learned a lesson there, right?
no. 20-year-old Eric might still be in Arborg, Manitoba, behind a dumpster.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
right?
That may have been. And I will tell you, if as weird as this sounds, if I had been habitual, maybe before, if I had been a drug user of any kind,
right,
or something like that, that would have probably been worse.
Yeah,
that
would have kickstarted something, right?
Yeah, I could have probably, but I was so far out of my body.
Wow.
And there were people around me that clearly told me, like, dude, you're not even close to your funny self, and laugh. And they're like, your eyes look weird. Your fucking face looks weird. I literally had somebody from Instagram that I only see a couple times a year. They're like, man, your face looks swollen and something else. And I'm like, what? What are you talking? What are you talking about?
Wow.
And that was weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, nobody ever wants to hear that. And I was like, all right, I put on a few like the rest of us, right? But I'm like, what do you mean my face is swollen? And I'm telling you, Damien, listen, I looked at that picture and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like my face was swollen, and my neck, and like just it was weird stuff. And I was like, damn. Wow. Yeah, that's a bad deal.
Well, you know what? I hope, I really do hope that nobody has a worse story than that. Because that would be, if you're going worse than that, I think you're having some bad fucking luck, to be honest with
you. You are. But
I tell you what, buddy, I gotta applaud you, because that's dedication. That's dedication.
I actually, I want people to know there's nothing to applaud. That, I mean, to be totally truth, that I really do want people to that not applaud that behavior, because it just, and it wasn't worth it, right? I don't remember things. There's 2 hunts, so normally I can recall every single hunt. When I 6-7 months later, Canada, I know where we were. I can tell you what the geese did that morning. Like that's how ingrained, it is. And I can tell you the day of the week that the Northern Lights were there that morning, and just, I mean, that's how special that place is. And I pissed on that. And that kind of pisses me off. Like I shit on that experience to try to go up there and say that I went up there. And I don't remember it. There's hunts that I don't remember. I can't tell you where we started. I can't tell you where the best hunts were. I'm going to go back and watch the episodes on R&T. It'll be me witnessing it for the first time, kind of shit.
Yeah, but the only thing that you can hang your hat on, Eric, is that, you didn't do it out of malice, right? So it wasn't that you went up there. It's not like this is something you do every fucking year or whatever, right? No. Like this is so. Yeah.
I'm not a guy who runs so hard that I do Xanax.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that tongue in cheek, but I think you guys probably know there are guides out there that run so hard.
Oh yeah, buddy.
that are either coked up or something, because they go at they run themselves into the ground and they do shit to continue doing that.
Yeah.
That's never been me. I don't do that. And I probably, tried to do that in a sense. But yeah, nothing to applaud, but hey, it's a laugh. Everybody gets to laugh at it now.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Well, and it's a lesson learned, and you know what? At the end of the day, it's amazing. This is what I say, because I watch these fucking videos, and I've got a son, and you've got sons. Eric or Phil, we've all got sons, and it's amazing that we make it to manhood, to be honest with you, because we do some pretty dumb shit, right from a young age. And
I look at Dylan,
yeah,
and I'm like, you've been put on this earth. How do I word this? To make me suffer for all my wrongdoings when I was younger.
Yeah.
And like I look at some of like the the harebrained schemes and stuff and nonsense that I did when I was in my younger days, and then I look at him now and just like some like the way he acts and talks and like responds to some things, I'm like, oh yeah,
it's coming.
There's no doubt where you came from.
Yeah, it's a mirror. It's a mirror into.
Oh, my wife will look at me and she's like, "He's yours." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you don't gotta remind me. I know."
Yeah. Well, it's like I don't know how many times throughout the years, as I was doing something, I'm like, I'm only doing this because I've already got the story built in my head. Like I'm strictly doing this to tell this story later on. Didn't matter how stupid it was. It's like, yeah, I'm going to impress my friends with a story. I'm picturing the reactions on their faces, and that's all I want, right?
Yeah, because
doesn't matter how stupid it was.
But where do you draw the line that you do have to let them feel like you have to let them make a few mistakes, right?
Well,
like sometimes I catch myself almost browbeating him too much before something has happened. Well, like I'm using my own experiences and being like, don't do that. That's stupid because I did that one time. I tried to put on that river. I tried to put on that creek when I was a kid or this and that. But like, then there's a part of me that's like, damn, you have to let them do a little bit, don't you?
You do. You've got a little, but this is a real conversation that I had with a dad. This is a real conversation I had with a dad a couple weeks ago, and I've got no problem talking about it. So my son and his son, they were pretty good buddies. The two of them together make very, very bad decisions. And I'm not saying it was all his fault or all my son's fault. It's just when the two of them are together, they make bad fucking decisions. Right? And so my son's grades were slipping. He was doing things that we didn't agree with, whatever. So I just said, hey, listen, no more. You're not hanging out with this kid no more. It's just bad. Right? And I'm not placing all the blame on that kid because I know my son has got a fucking voice and he can say no to. So the dude's dad, messages me and he's upset. And he was like, I don't think it's fair that my son's getting all the blame. And I'm like, dude, your son's not getting all the blame. My son's got just as much fucking blame as yours. I said, but I just don't think it's right. And he said, they're kids. They're going to make mistakes. And I said to him, I said, 100% they're going to make mistakes. But my job is the major mistakes that I see coming. Like, so let's just talk about dope, right?
Yeah.
That's a big mistake to make, in my opinion. That's a huge mistake to make. So I was like, no. I was like, my job as a parent is to listen. I know he's going to do shit that I'll never know about.
Right.
Let him do that. But the things that I can control, then I'm 100% going to fucking control that. I think you do have to let them make mistakes, but
the dope and the pot thing is very weird. I grew up in a time that call it what it was, but it was a gateway drug, right? I grew up in the Nancy Reagan dare. They were everywhere. And it scared the shit out of me. And I didn't do it. And I didn't really have friends who did it. We called them, what we call stoners.
Yeah.
Right?
Stoners.
So you were in high school, you were, a stoner, you were, and that's terrible, but they were categorized or whatever. And I, in my mind right away, I was like, oh, that leads right to this and that or whatever.
Yep.
And then now I'm 49, Damien, and the 4 states around me, it's legal.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I supposed how am I supposed to talk about that now?
Yeah. Hey,
that's weird.
Well,
that's
dude, I got to tell my son not to do it meanwhile, he sees me do it every night because I take gummies every night before I go to bed. So how am I a hypocrite? I'm here. I am chastising my son, telling him not to do it while he watches me every fucking night do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I get you, man. Like it's weird.
You know, that one's hard. The one I can contain is I drinking and driving.
Oh,
as just terrible as that is.
I don't think kids. I really don't think.
Just don't set the precedents. And the stories that we have are not. Those aren't great stories.
No.
The stories that I have where I got pulled over and the cop just made me pour shit out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the worst thing that happened to me in Kansas.
Yeah.
Is we went to field parties, cops came out there, hey, pour your liquor out, pour this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what an MIP, I didn't even know what the initials stood for in the United States till I was like late in my university years. It's minor in possession.
Oh, okay. MIP.
You know,
okay.
And it's a ticket. It's not a felon.
Yeah.
But it's you know, I didn't know what the hell that was. Minor in possession. Hell, that's all I was in. I was a minor in possession of alcohol my whole life. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
So that it hits you, right? I mean, when you got kids that age. So I have a 21-year-old. He's 21 now, and I'm like, it sucks.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he'll come over for dinner, and guess what he'll do? He'll grab a beer or two out of the fridge, and I'm like,
because it's free.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
But you know, I do think, and this is honest to God, and someone can tell me I'm wrong here, but I honestly do think that kids today are a lot smarter when it comes to that shit than what we were. So I've got to listen, and I have no pretenses that my daughter's a fucking angel. God knows she's probably not. But I do know for a fact that if she says she's driving that night, I know she will not take a taste of alcohol. And her friends are the same way. I just think the kids, I think it's just drilled into them right from a young age. Just all the horror stories and stuff.
I started very early with my son because I tried to not be naive. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And so drilled it. If you get in a bad spot, for whatever reason, you're going to pay the price. But that night, I'm going to be non-judgmental.
Yeah.
All you have to do is text me. Do not care what time it is. Don't care where you are. Mom or myself, we will come get you.
Yeah.
You'll deal with us the next day.
But
that, you know, that was pretty good because growing up, I mean, that wasn't the case. I mean,
well, I didn't have
came home, my dad was in bed.
Well, no, I didn't have it as a teenager, but when I was like 19, 20 years old and out hitting the bars, I could call my dad regardless of the time, and he would come pick me up 100%. He would never say no. Only way he would, which hardly ever happened, was that if he had a couple drinks. But my dad
I had that problem.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't very often when my dad did have a couple of drinks, but if he couldn't come get me, that was the reason why, because he couldn't have any drinks. So I was pretty lucky when it come, but that was later. When I was a teenager, obviously, I hit it just like everybody else, right? You snuck around and drank.
Hell, I've been calling my parents for rides my whole adult life, right? Because whether I'm back, so this weekend is the big hometown festival, so I'll be home, and traditionally most years it's like I'll be down the one fire hall has a big street dance and that, so it's like, well, need a ride, so I'm calling my elderly parents to come pick me up, and or we live hours away from where I grew up, so my wife and I are on our own with our kids, so parents will come up for a weekend to visit, and it's like, well, you guys are here to visit, so we're going out. Sure enough, it's like town's 20 minutes away and 3:00 in the morning. It's like, well, Mom, I need a ride home. Doesn't matter that I'm 40.
Well, but I just think that I think it's more, I don't know. Nobody wants to be the reason that, listen, the ticket and losing your license is one thing.
Not getting into Canada.
Having the accident.
For me, that would be gigantic.
Yeah. But having an accident and causing a death,
Ugh.
that's like, I don't know how a fucking person can live with themselves after that, right? I'm not judging anybody or nothing like that. Don't get me wrong, but like
your whole life.
Your whole life.
Yeah, that's a life changer. Yeah.
But
I have we have a friend that traveled with us for a year. He did camera work for Stahl.
Yeah.
And we found out who he was actually through like Instagram. He started kind of getting a pretty big, and he was shooting some incredible shit.
Oh.
And we reached out to him, didn't know any of his backstory or anything, and but was doing some incredible stuff like with the camera.
Yeah.
Stahl asked him, and he went on a trip with us. Right away, it was clear he didn't drink or or anything. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't ask or anything like that. And then he came to find out. We asked him if you want, it's just easier to get cameraman licenses. It doesn't matter gun wise or not. That way you get stopped. 6 guys, 6 licenses, whatever. Doesn't matter. So that's always been Stahl's thing.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't get him a license, and he had to tell us like, hey, I can't get a license. And we're like, ooh, what's going on there?
Yeah. What's the deal?
He had a conviction that was a person had died in a car accident.
Shit.
Yeah. And so he had to clearly can't hunt, couldn't do anything, and he started spiraling and doing some stuff. And for mental health, he picked up a camera. It was the only thing he could do.
Yeah,
right.
That was his,
and great guy.
Outlet.
Tragic story. He'll live with it for I still try to keep in touch with him, but
So-
you can tell.
So
he's
Eric,
not in a good space.
when you're crossing into Canada, so when you come into Canada and they scan because that's the only way they could fucking really know. They scan your passport.
DUI, you're done.
You
are
can't
not
come in.
getting it. Nope.
Really?
You would have to pay a lot of money. I know a couple people who do it, but they get around it by either guide licenses or work visa, things like that.
Right.
But a regular me, Tyson, Stahl, when we roll up there, passport goes, our background check cannot be a conviction of any type of firearm, tobacco, any of those, and DUI, you are not getting into Canada.
I know, like when we were planning the refuge for this past March, like Stahl was really interested in coming, right? Like he really wanted to come, and he wanted to come up with R&T and the whole bit. And the more he looked into it, the more there was just way too much gray area.
Yeah, red tape, huh?
And it was just, and he just said to me, he's like, you know what, Damien, buddy? He said, I would fucking love to be up there with you, and I would. He said, but there's enough gray area here in the policy that I don't understand, that I'm not taking the chance, because I'm not taking a chance that I won't be allowed back in Canada.
That's right.
Yeah. And fuck,
we take we take a lot of new product up there, to prototype and test or whatever. We unbox the shit. I mean, there's times that I unbox it, throw mud on it, so it looks like I'm using it. So it looks like it's been used. I'm not traveling up there to do anything else but hunt.
And you guys get a lot of your content up here too, right?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
So it's just not worth it, and it really isn't, right? And I understand it. I totally do, but
it's also not worth 72 prednisone. I'll tell you that. It's not worth that either. It's not.
It's not.
No.
Well, I'm hoping. I'm really hoping that most of that the entire fucking continental United States starts legalizing the stuff, because I've got to, if I travel stateside, I've got to do 2 weeks of not taking anything to try and get my body used to, because I can't travel with, I can't take the chance to travel with it, right?
Yeah.
Like the chances of getting caught are minor.
It's gotta be getting a little bit less now, right? As far as
but it's not worth it, dude.
No.
Listen, look at me. Do I look like I would survive in prison?
No. You're done. You're
I'm
done.
I'm
You're
fucking done. So
Yeah.
I can't take, like, when we competed in Tampa Bay in 2019, like, they told us, like, listen, if you fucking bring anything into the States and you get caught, you're on your own. We are not fucking doing anything to help you. You can deal with the American authority. And I'm going to tell you, it's just not worth it, right? So
we got to about 7 miles. This is 3 years ago. We got to about 7 miles from the border, and that's about when you start doing the,
yeah.
I got everything good. You take the glasses off, fucking look normal. Here we go. Like, get ready.
Yeah.
And Phil Holloway says, "Oh shit," and reaches in the
armrest, the console.
Yeah, reaches in the armrest, and his pistol is still there.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, what? I mean,
no bueno.
And all of us are like, I mean, we can't try it. We're not going to do it.
Yeah.
What the hell do we do? We drive around for about 30 minutes. We get off and we get into like a town or whatever. This is terrible. I mean, again, kids don't do this. We fucking wrap that thing up. No ammo. We take the ammo and just throw it. It's gone. That in itself is not good, by the way.
Yeah.
But throw that. We drive somewhere else. We wrap that thing in like towels and we stick it in a culvert.
Yeah.
Drop a pin on our phone. I mean, how shitty is that? We fucking go hunt. Now we come back. It's there. We fucking stop and we get that thing.
Yeah.
And afterwards we're thinking, what if that thing would have been fucking found?
Oh,
what if somebody found that thing, committed a crime with it or whatever?
Oh boy.
I mean, are you kidding me?
That's
how stupid,
slippery slope.
Oh, fucking idea was that?
Yeah.
But we didn't know what to do at the time.
Yeah.
It was straight up.
I wonder, you know what? I wonder, and I don't, maybe you guys know, but I'm guessing you don't. But in that case, like, I would hazard to think, because stateside, it is very common that fellas drive around and they have a fucking piece in their vehicle with them
every day of my life.
Right? Yeah. So that is, I guarantee you that he's not the first person that rolled up onto the fucking border and was like, oh shit, I forgot. I got a fucking 9mm in the fucking console.
Right.
I wonder if there's somewhere within Canada Border Services where you can walk in and say, hey, listen, I fucking forgot. I fucked up. Can you guys hold it?
Yeah.
I'll pay for the week. You guys hold it in the fucking vault. Here's my license. Here's all the paperwork, all the shit. Can you hold it for me until I come back? I'm not trying to smuggle it into Canada, all that shit.
Yeah.
I wonder, is that even an option?
I mean, probably a way better idea. I mean, that, but man, you know how you get, like, you just panic.
Oh,
you know what it's like? It's like no matter what, when you are out of state, Texas is the worst for me. If I'm in Texas, I know I'm legal. I have everything, I need. But I'm telling you, Damien, that son of a bitch gets out of that F-350, 250 that those Texas game wardens, and the first thing he does, he gets out, he's got snake boots on up to his knee. And I don't know where they grow these dudes, but every one of them, some bitches, is 6'5", 6. It's like,
what? They're intimidating.
It's the same guy every single time. And he reaches up and he grabs that 10-gallon bucket cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Dude, that dude puts that thing on and it's like, what? Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
And you start immediately thinking you did something wrong.
Fucking right. Yeah.
You're absolutely. Like, you start panicking. What do I got?
You're stuttering.
You're stuttering. You're like, how many ducks you got? You're just like, hey, dude, it's a panic.
I believe those are Chuck Norris's kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm telling you, they all look the same. 3 years in a row. I wanted to ask the guy, like,
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Walker.
Yes.
But like, I can tell you, like, I cross the border a lot here into New York, right? I do it once a month, easy. And I'm going to tell you, at first, when I started doing it, I was intimidated by the U.S. border people, but not now. Like they are
Really?
buddy, they are the nicest fucking people. Like, I'll drive in and I've got like the camo seat covers on my truck, right? So if it's a woman working, guaranteed she'll make fun of my fucking camo seat covers, right? Like she'll make fun of them.
Right.
She's like, does your wife like your seat covers? And I'm like, no, she fucking hates them, right? So, but then the dudes are awesome.
Yeah.
Coming back into Canada, buddy, 9 times out of 10, I get a hard time coming back into Canada.
Really?
Yeah, buddy. It's not,
wow.
It's usually not a good experience coming back into Canada for me. Like
Wow.
to me, when I go to the States, I'll be like, where are you going? Or where are you coming from? I tell them where I'm coming from. Where are you going? I'm going here. What are you going there for? I'm going to do this. How long are you going to be there? An hour. And then I'm coming back. Okay. Yep. See you. Drive safe or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Canada, it's like I've been gone for 8 years and oh Jesus.
Right. Like you've been off the grid and
you're man, like it's something else to come into Canada, but I don't know.
We've been doing it long enough where it's scripted. I mean, you got to have an address.
Yeah.
Where are you going? And you say the address, and it's like, how long? And you don't bullshit. You say this day. I'm leaving this day, and this.
I'll give you an example of how much more easier it is to go into America than it is into Canada. So I'm going down to Baton Rouge the end of July for the Delta Duck Expo.
Awesome.
It is easier, more convenient, and cheaper, which is the most important, but it's easier and more convenient for me to drive from my house into Syracuse, New York, than to leave my house and go to Toronto, Ontario, and catch a flight into Baton Rouge.
What?
Yeah, buddy. 100%. So I'll roll up to the border, pass my passport in. They'll say, where are you going? I'm like, going to Syracuse. What are you going to Syracuse for? Getting a flight. Where are you flying? Baton Rouge. What are you doing in Baton Rouge? Going down to a duck hunting trade show. Really? All the way to Baton Rouge for right? Like that'll be the question. Like, really? You're going all the way to Baton Rouge? And I'm like, yeah, it sort of, all right, have fun.
Yep.
The same time, so that'll take me 2 hours next to no traffic because it's upstate New York. So next to no traffic, or I'd leave my place, drive on the busiest highway in North America, get into Toronto, have to be there 3 hours early just to get through security and through international customs and all that bullshit.
Customs and
buddy, it's way easier for me to just go through fucking Syracuse. So now we got friends. So like I'm telling Craig, because Craig is thinking about coming down. Phil was thinking about coming down. I'm like, boys, if you can do it, fucking fly out of Buffalo. Like, go down to Buffalo and fly out of Buffalo. It's so much easier.
Yeah, we've done it when we took the kids to Florida. Same thing. We went across over to New York and flew out from there, and it was way better.
Yeah.
So you drove down and then just flew out from there.
Yeah. It just, the only thing that kills you and really the only thing that kills you is the fact that you've got to park your vehicle at the airport, and it's in. So when you pay, you're paying in American dollars, and the Canadian dollar is shit right now. So you're getting hammered that way.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, it's such an easy process.
Right.
And that's the thing. So I don't know, man. Like,
yeah.
It is what it is. Boys, I just looked at the clock and we're over an hour. And that's how fast an hour goes by. I was talking to Bobby Hayes today, and we were talking about podcasts and stuff like this, and he's saying that a lot of people, like, there's still a lot of people that, when you ask them about coming on a podcast, and they're like, well, I don't know, what are you going to talk about for an hour? And I'm like,
just talk.
Yeah, just talk. An hour
visit with friends.
Yeah,
it's not hard.
No, it's not an hour. Fuck, Eric, you were easy 30 minutes just talking about your thing, right?
Just my drug habit. My drug habit was 45 minutes, guys.
Oh, that's awesome. No, but it is great show again, a great show, and buddy, it's been way too long since we've had you on. So we'll do a quick around the table and we'll end it with you, Eric. Philly, over to you, my man.
Eric, as always, great having you on. The stories are always great and whatnot, and I'm wishing you a much better start to your duck season this year.
Thank you.
For the love of Christ, stay off the chiropractor's bed.
Yes.
And stay healthy.
Yes. Thank you.
Craig, to you.
Eric, great meeting you and chatting with you. And I have nothing else to add to that.
There you go.
You can't top that.
No, there's no way of following that.
Eric, to you, my man.
Well, thank you guys. I mean, it's been too long, Damien. So we tried to hook up a couple times or whatever.
I know, but
we tried to hook up early in the season, and I was in a shitty place, clearly. But thanks.
You had no idea where you were.
Yeah, actually, that might have been a great podcast. That would have been. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what.
It's been an hour of just. No, thanks, Damien, for reaching out. You guys keep killing it. Love the last few. That people, you keep getting new guests and kind of refreshing it, which is awesome. So,
thanks,
man, I wish nothing but the best for Punisher and all you guys. So, let's do it again soon. I want to hear about the Delta stuff and all that stuff. So that'll be awesome, man.
No, buddy, I appreciate it. And you, like I've said, you, Corey, Sean, all you guys have been in our corner for such a long time. And I'm gonna send Corey another message tonight because he's avoiding me now. I've bugged him so much. I'm just joking. I bugged him so much.
He's got a daughter graduating this weekend.
Oh,
he's got he's
a busy dude.
I'm flying to California in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, I'm flying to California. Me and him are going to go off grid out to up to the border past like Mount Shasta. Beautiful. We're going to go up there. We're going to do a little fishing.
Nice.
We're going to talk some shop and product.
Yeah.
That's kind of when we recharge and for next year.
Absolutely.
Because I missed out on a lot of stuff as the Waterfowl community manager, which is what I do. I missed out on a lot of stuff. So I need to get back out there, talk to some people, and
absolutely, buddy. No, as always, Eric, buddy, thanks so much. Thanks for being a good dude and a good friend, and always returning my messages whenever I reach out to you. I know we don't stay in touch all that often, but I really do appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Union 0430 podcast. We're not experts. We'll never pretend to be experts. We're just a bunch of dudes that love hanging out and talking about whatever, as long as it surrounds duck hunting. Big love. Chat with you next time.